Welcome to the Great American Collectible Show, seen Wednesdays on the Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page and the Great American Collectibles Facebook page. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Spotify. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by the National Sports Collectors Convention and Sports Collectors Daily. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all your hobby news, features, and more, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now your host, Tom Zappola, and Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli.
Hi there. Go ahead.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, and yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Did you eat a lot?
No.
No? You look like you did.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Great American Collectible Show. Tom Zappola, my paisan and co-host, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. We have a special guest sitting to Rico's left. This is Mike Lamazzo.
Good morning, everybody.
Everybody in the greater Boston area knows him as Father Mikey. Now, Mike and I worked together for 21 years.
We had a blast.
21 years on the air. We had a non-collectible show called the Sicilian Corner. And basically what it was, Mikey, was an Italian version of Seinfeld. Pretty much.
That's a good description.
Right?
Yeah.
Show about nothing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much an Italian show about nothing.
Oh, okay.
And our motto
What do you
was...
mean, you couldn't call in if you weren't Italian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But our motto was what, Mikey? Show prep.
Is your enemy, baby.
Is our enemy.
Shoot first and answer
Exactly.
later.
So anyways, we asked Mike to come on today, just because it's a little fun day after Christmas or 2 days after Christmas. And Mike does not know a goddamn thing about baseball cards or memorabilia.
Wait a minute. What's the name of this show?
The Great American Collectible Show.
I thought this was the cooking show.
No, it isn't. You're out.
I'm gone.
All right, listen, we have two
studio.
special guests, as you can see. Our good friend Joe Tomasulo from Memory Lane Auctions. Joseph, how are you?
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Joe, I
Happy
didn't,
New Year.
with all due respect, I've known you for quite a while. I got nothing in the mail from you. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. I got something from JP. Was that from you also?
You know what? You can attach my name to that, Tom.
Okay. And our other good guest, good friend, Lee Behrens from Sterling Sports Auctions. Lee is out in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Lee.
Happy holidays to everyone. We are getting rain, no snow in Minnesota.
Well, that's good. And Lee, I know you've been a little under the weather. You look great. Glad to see you're on the mend. That's very, very special.
Yep.
Listen, before I headline, a couple of programming notes that are very, very important. This is our last broadcast, Rico and I, from up here at the studio. We are both heading south this coming weekend. So this is we're going to be in Florida for the winter months, broadcasting from there. Mallory gets to stay up here with Chrissy.
Oh.
I invited Chrissy down with us, but she
guy.
refused, Mikey.
Oh, I find that
She
hard to
refused.
believe.
So we're going to be broadcasting starting next week from Florida, number one. One other thing I'd like to chat about real quickly. As everybody knows, you can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, listen to us on your favorite podcast platform, as well as a 980 WCAP up here in the Boston area. There's a lot going on with Facebook, as a lot of people know, okay? More and more people are getting hacked. More and more people every day are getting hacked. And it's becoming a real serious problem. Now, we have been fortunate enough because we have some good defenses up, thanks to Chrissy and myself, about kind of holding some of these hackers off. Now, that happened to us about a year and a half ago. As a lot of people know, we got hacked from some clown from Nigeria, and we had to create a whole new Facebook page. We are holding them off, but it's becoming more and more difficult, to be honest with you. And the conversations I'm having with other professional people that have shows like us, they're having a hard time. So we're going to kind of encourage people, not immediately, but over the coming months, over the next year, to consider start watching us, if you want to view us and not listen to us, on YouTube. Don't be afraid to start gravitating toward YouTube because it's a lot easier. Chrissy, would you agree with that? That it's just a lot easier than the Facebook thing about getting hacked?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Tom, you brought that up because on our show, this is Saying Connor, we're doing the exact same thing. We're pushing people over more toward YouTube and getting away from Facebook. Myself, for the last 6 months, I haven't been on Facebook.
I know, you told me that. By the way, Mikey continued the show. He's working
Why
solo.
would somebody want to hack a collectible show?
Let me just give you
And
a
you
quick...
can't talk to anybody there.
Just let me give you just a quick one, both of you guys, so you understand it. This week, we were fortunate to have 23,000 views on Facebook.
That's amazing.
23,000. That's a lot of views. However, out of the 23,000, when you look at the likes, how many people like it, we've had 187 likes on the show. Out of the 187 likes, 80 of them were hackers trying to get in. 80 of them.
Seriously.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
80 of them were hackers that you have to go, you have to look them up, then you have to block them. And you know what the sad part about it is? 40 of the 80 were Facebook posts of Facebook pages of people that are deceased, that have died.
Really?
So that's what we're going through.
crazy.
So we're just, start watching us on Facebook.
Was Mr. Clute one of them?
No, he wasn't. All right, listen, we're not going to even do a headline today. We're going to get
Why?
right into it because we're going to get into it with our guest.
Okay.
Lee, you have an auction going on right now. Why don't you tell us about it?
Sure. We got a 116th auction we got running right now. It beginning on Thursday. If you haven't got your bid in, go jump in. We got some great stuff again. I got a 1957 top set that I'm breaking down. So there's graded cards individually as well as the bulk of the set and stuff. So if you're looking for 57s to fill in the set or whatever, got a great opportunity there. I got a partial set of 1921 exhibits that I broke down. And your headliner cards are different ones like the Ty Cobbs of E98 and Sport King. I got all the 1954 Topps rookies, the big ones of Aaron. This is a really, really nice 4. This is a PSA 4, but it's got a tiny surface wrinkle on it that is downgraded a little bit. But there's a Banks and a K-line in there also. I have a really nice selection of Hall of Fame 19th century cards that are really hot right now. This is the Comiskey Brown Champions and the King Kelly Buckner Gold Coin.
So, those pre-1900 cards really seem to be getting hot now. Correct?
Yeah, they do. And I was always curious through this whole COVID thing. That was one of the things I was looking at. And I'm like, why aren't they taking off like the rest of them? They seem to lag behind, and boy, in the last 6 months, that's kind of really taken off again.
Hey, Joe, by the way, jump in anytime you want. If you have any questions for Lee or...
Sure.
What else?
Well, we always have T206 strong. I mean, we got tough backs such as the broadleaf, tough to get without a glare. Broadleaf, Carolina Brights, Cycles.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Hall of Famers.
I think you know what a T206 card is.
Right.
That's all kidding aside. It's amazing how the T206, there are so many of them out there, but it is still the gold standard for
That's
collecting.
funny, huh?
Right?
It
You would
is.
think with volume,
It
when
is,
there's
Tom.
that many available.
Absolutely, and it's still the gold standard.
Amazing.
It's just, for whatever reason, and Joe, both of you guys jump in on this. What is the reason for that? I'm going to ask you that firstly. Why is the T206 set still the gold standard for collecting?
I think from my perspective and collecting it myself from a small standpoint, you can always, like you said, it's accessible. I personally started with, I picked some up here and there, but I started with a Cubs subset, team set. Well, I was buying lots on eBay, and all of a sudden you got other stuff. I thought, well, maybe I'll start putting teams together. And so that all of a sudden worked up to then when I had enough, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, maybe I'll try to get up to a Dammit and O'Hare. And, along the way you picked up different backs, but there's so many different ways you can collect that
And maybe
set.
that's the reason. Joe?
Well, it's tobacco, right? Tobacco cards.
Yeah.
Rico, you know what? Just to piggyback off what Lee just said, his last statement, it's the ad backs. The availability is definitely true, but the fascination with I think there's 39, if I remember right, 39 different combo backs, including factories, subjects,
Right.
etc. And Lee just held up one of the holy grails, the Broadleaf.
Yeah.
That's like a top 3 rarity. By the way, Lee, is that a 460 or 350?
It's a 350.
Okay.
It's tough to tell with the glare story, but
Yeah. But either, 460s
Yeah,
rarer.
but you know something, Joe? I agree with you, but I also agree with what Lee said, is that, I mean, the tough backs, that's just one aspect of collecting. But what Lee says, some people will collect just Red Sox or whatever, or all-star, or first baseman, or
500 home
Southern
runs.
Leaguers, or exactly, Yeah. But it's just...
Here's another big collecting angle on those, because there are many Carl Horner portrait images. People love those portraits. And I had a portrait Hall of Fame run once. Well, except for the Wagner. I never owned the Wagner, but I even had the plank in there. That's another huge collecting niche. The art on those images is amazing.
That's a good point. I never thought about it. Lee, what else?
Really?
What else do we have? Do we have any other sports that you're handling right now? You got some?
yeah, there's I have boxing cards. There's a couple Jack Johnsons in the card. The one I believe is a top 3.
Rico fought him.
It's the highest
Jack
graded
Johnson,
out
yeah.
there.
What year was that?
1902.
Did you beat him?
Kicked his ass.
Yeah, he was probably in his 60s, so I hope he did, Rico. But yeah, I do the 4 major sports: boxing, golf, rookie cards from all ends. Do a little bit of modern stuff too, not a whole lot, but it's just, once again, a nice diverse auction. Lots start as low as $20 on up. I allow my extended bidding you can bid on anything once you get into extended bidding. Most auction houses, you have to bid on the lot, but whole auction's open. All you need is one bid to get into the auction, to get into the extended bidding on Thursday night after 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
And what's your website address?
SterlingSportsAuctions.com.
Sports, yeah.
And the auction ends again Thursday night.
Yep.
Thursday night. Yep. It's generally, I can automatically shut it down at about 1 a.m., but there's a 15-minute rule on the whole auction. It's not individual lots, the whole auction. Come 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I then have the right to close it down at any time. So then I watch the auction closer. If it starts slowing down, I put the timer down to a few minutes. And it generally closes around 1:30.
Good for you. All right,
But
Lee.
you never know when it can close, so you always got to make sure you get your bids in.
Have a great New Year.
Yes.
And
be well. That's
be
New
well,
Year,
healthy.
Lee.
Take
Happy
care
New
of
Year to
yourself.
you
and
guys,
we'll
too.
keep in touch.
Appreciate it.
Happy New Year,
All
Lee.
right, Lee.
Take care.
Take care.
Lee
Thanks.
Behrens
Great job, buddy.
from Sterling
Yes.
Sports
Class,
Auction.
great guy.
Oh, good man.
Yeah,
Good man.
he loves everybody.
I
But
do.
I
I
know.
do.
No, I know you do.
Most
Except
people.
me.
No, I
And
love
Mike.
you. All right, let's get to a. Don't listen to me. Don't encourage him, Thomas.
Who?
You're encouraging
He knows.
Petrocelli.
Rico, this is a tag team, you and me today.
I
All
like
right.
it. I like what
All
I'm
right,
hearing.
Joe, you have a magnificent blockbuster auction going on right now as we speak. It just opened up about 4, 5, 6 days ago, whatever.
December 21st.
And it ends when?
Saturday, January 13th.
Okay.
Blockbuster.
January 13th. Now, I got a question. Are you concerned about the fact that people spent money for Christmas? The New Year's coming?
Stop. That is an unbelievably good question.
It's a great
really
question. With even a better answer.
I'm shocked.
Why are you shocked?
All right, go ahead.
Tom,
No. What about?
historically speaking, it's a great question.
Thank
Rico.
you very much.
But historically
raise. I wanna-
speaking,
You're all done for today.
That's it.
Go out on a winning note.
Tom,
Go ahead.
our January auction, we end one every second, third week of January every year, is our best auction. So Rico,
Interesting.
here's what happened.
That's interesting.
Well, let's see what happens.
I'm going to tell you what happened.
Yeah.
People are so focused on the holidays.
Yeah.
Late November, December, there's that auction blitz, Heritage, REA, SCP, Leland's, all of these auctions ending in November through early December. Those end.
Okay.
Now it's all holiday focused. Collectors don't like waiting in the wings too long. After New Year's, you get the itch.
Yeah.
You know, and I even like, just as an example, I always told Jimmy Ryan, who runs JPRS Sports and those odd shows in White Plains,
Who now is a partner in the National.
partner at the National. I always told Jimmy, his mid-January show, which is the 19th to the 21st this year at the Westchester County Center, is the most crowded show, weather permitting,
It's interesting.
of course.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't think you'd think it's
packed
the opposite.
Yeah.
because people are ready to jump in again. I'm telling you. And Tom, Rico, Mike, I mean, when I had a free moment yet, couple of days ago, Christmas Day, bids coming in on Christmas Day.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
Tons of
wow. I
bids.
mean, it's surprising.
Well, I also think that at Christmas time, the people that are into collectibles are usually people that have high incomes. I mean,
Some disposable
They have
cash.
disposable cash.
Yeah.
So bonuses come out at Christmas
That's a
time.
good point.
People are well heeled, and I think that has something
you
to
could
do
be
with
right.
what.
Whatever. Yeah.
You could be right.
Could be.
And let's throw, Tom, one other thing, guys. Let's throw this into the mix. I don't know if you guys have been watching.
Oh, yeah.
Stock market is inching up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Treasury yields inching down,
Yeah.
which means people now are more comfortable putting their money into
More
cardboard
confident,
rather
yeah.
than that locked-in 5%.
All right, I'm going to ask.
all right.
I'm going to ask both you guys a question before we get into the specifics.
Which guys?
Mike and Joe, because again, for our viewers and listeners, Mike
never
is
get questions.
he hosts, but Mike is a financial guy. Mike has made his living becoming a millionaire.
Yeah,
Stocks and bonds. Mikey,
Mike, do you have more money than Tom?
he does.
Nobody has more
He
money.
does.
than
He
Tom.
does.
Nobody.
He
He's
does.
hoarding it, too.
But anyway,
This
my
guy's
que-
got alligator arms. When it comes to paying, forget about it.
my question.
T-Rex, right?
My
Those
question.
little T-Rex are.
Exactly. My question to both of you, though, Mike, is what do you see happening in 2024? Just a general statement, and then I'm going to ask Joe the same question.
I think the stock market's a little bit ahead of itself right now. I think you're going to have a tough January. I think probably 2 or 3 weeks going in, you're going to start seeing a correction. We've gone up too fast, too quick. Even though the stock market is looking out 6 months to the future, you know, the Federal Reserve, people are saying, you know, they're going to drop rates 3 times during the, I doubt very much 3 times, but twice is guaranteed. But to me, I say, if you can sell now and have some losses to offset the capital gains for this year, 23, I say do it.
Good. Joe, what do you see now for 2024 with the hobby, based on what Mike is saying, or do you agree or disagree? With the hobby, not with the stock market.
Well, I mean, just to piggyback quick off what Mike just said, we're going to have to ask Jerome Powell that question. I mean, seriously, what Mike said is spot on accurate. The interest rate, what they do with those interest rates will determine if the market's inflated, if it's, overdrawn, is it going to come down? So we're just going to have to wait and see. I will say this.
Go ahead.
Rico, Tom, I have reiterated this every show. I see no suffrage at all, no damage on high-end rarity of baseball's legends. Root, Carr, Garrett, Mantle.
Good point.
High end.
It's
Good point.
it's solid. It's solid. So
Good. All right, I got you. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
I'm going to stand by that.
Yeah.
Hold on, Rick. Do we need to take a break?
No.
Would you? Yeah, we're going to take a break now.
My
Joe,
question.
we're going to come back. When we come, just do me a favor. Can you write it down so you remember it, please?
I can remember.
I guarantee you're not
I
going to
wanted
remember
to say this is a political year. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Political year.
It's a
one
voting
of
year,
those.
political,
Is that gonna-
and the present administration is going to bring everything up.
To look
the
good.
economy is.
Oh,
gonna
that's a
look,
good point. Rico.
both sides. would
Two
do
good
that.
points
So I
he's
don't
made.
That's a great point.
Two good points you've made.
You're on a roll, brother. You're on a roll.
All right, listen, we're going to
You
take
notice he didn't ask me. I had to push myself into it.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to have another Gax moment. Joe is with us for the whole hour. We're going to get into the auction pretty heavy. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Rico Petrocelli. Right now, thousands of children are facing the most difficult times in their lives with serious illness, homelessness, and other tragedies. I hope that you can join us on March 2nd at the County Line Restaurant in Juno Beach, Florida, for a live auction and some great baseball talk. If you can't join us, please consider a donation to littlesmilesfl.org. That's littlesmilesfl.org to help these kids. And when you donate, please mention the Great American Collectables Show. We hope you'll help.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, mile high. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, it is time for another Gax moment brought to us each week by our good friend Paul Borges from PB Collectables, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectables.com to find that special card or piece of memorabilia. This week, I think this is a really good topic. This is strictly my opinion, so I just want you to know up front. A few weeks ago, we talked about the 4 players who were the Mount Rushmore of the hobby: Ruth, Cobb, Wagner, and Gehrig, and they were at the top of the mountain. Today, I want to talk about the 6 men who, in my opinion, changed the hobby forever. I consider these men the catalyst that brought the hobby to where it is today. Number 1, you can see right here on the screen, Jefferson Burdick. Jeff Burdick is considered to be the greatest card collector in history. Some hobbyists have more cards, but Burdick is priceless. But Burdick's collection was priceless. He is the most famous for compiling the American. He's more famous though for compiling the American card catalog, which identified and cataloged all of the various sets and also designated their names, like T206, T205, etc. And a large part of his collection is in the New York Metropolitan Museum. Number 2, Dr. James Beckett. Dr. Beckett, a statistician and author, James Beckett prepared price guides consisting of the values and condition of cards, educating collectors across the country what to look for in a card. He's made a contribution that is unparalleled. Number 3, this guy I had the pleasure of knowing, Al Rosen, also known as Mr. Mint. A fixture at card shows for years, waving cash for cards, Mr. Mint was sort of like a carnival barker. But for 30 years, he really entertained collectors in the hobby, not to mention that, especially with his historic Topps find in 1986, with the mantle cards, really turned the hobby upside down. Number 4 is an interesting one, but this is a guy that really made a contribution to the hobby, Bill Mastro. Bill, in my opinion, was the pioneer of online auctions and catalogs. Now, Josh Evans from Leland's really had the first auction house, but Bill Mastro, in my opinion, took the internet auction to a new level. I couldn't wait, nobody could wait for his catalog to come out every month. It was like, you had to have it. Unfortunately, Bill was caught up in some illegal activity and was arrested and spent 6 years in prison, but still a major contributor to the hobby. Number 5, David Hall. David Hall was the founder of PSA, and he created the gold standard for grading in the world. He planted the seed. David, by the way, at one time had the largest T206 collection in history. He started PSA, but my 6th choice, and in my opinion, the most important, and he's a friend of ours, as everyone knows, he's the guy that really took it to another level, Joe Orlando. Joe took David's company and brought it up to become the standard in the hobby. His innovations over 20 years made PSA the go-to company, and he's also responsible for helping to develop the set registry. Joe, in his 20 years at PSA, again, in my opinion, really revolutionized the hobby. In any event, these men changed the hobby, and we should all be grateful for them. And that's another Gax moment. Okay, Joe, what do you think?
Interesting.
What do you think, Joe?
Tom, spot on, except I have to knock Beckett off that list.
Okay.
It's Dr. Beckett, with all due respect to him, Josh Evans has to be on that.
You know something?
Because
I wouldn't argue
Bill
that.
Mastro piggybacked off what Evans did, took it to another level, true. But maybe Bill Mastro doesn't have that model and nothing to work with or the idea without Josh Evans.
You know, I was torn.
God rest his soul, Josh Evans has to be on that list.
I was torn. I really was, and I appreciate that because I don't think I would argue that point. I would consider definitely substituting him for Beckett. I think that's a good choice. Josh Evans was a regular on the show for the first year and a half with us, Rick.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was a great guy and a real pioneer. Real pioneer.
Yeah.
And, Tom, it's funny. In my mind, I had David Hall and Orlando together because of the PSA concept, without a doubt. Another guy that people forget about is Bob Lemke. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He was the standard catalog. That SCD standard catalog was the Bible. It sort of was a reference tool that people could go to see when cards came out. He gave a little description, what's behind the card, what they were about, the price guide. So before Dr. Beckett, there was Lemke and the standard price card catalog. So I think Lemke's another guy you could argue.
When did the auction start, though? Seriously, I just want to.
The internet auctions?
Yeah, I mean, no, going back, because the years I played, we never even heard of cards that could be sold, the industry. Maybe we weren't paying attention, but, kids wanted autographs, on cards. But that was it. We never heard, this is worth more now. Nothing like that.
That's a good point.
So
Tom, I don't have the definitive answer, but I'm going to guess late 70s, early 80s.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's probably
when
why.
it really took off. Okay,
if you think about it now, you're asking a great question because that's probably why.
Another one.
Number 3.
Another one, Rico.
but that's.
I'm going to ask for a raise. Hey.
But wait a second. That's probably what led, or one of the things that led to the junk wax era, Joe, because in the 70s, people started looking at the value of cards as having value. And as a result, some of the card manufacturers, is it possible that they may have overthunk it and started mass producing cards, which did the opposite effect?
Well, and that was late 70s, Tom. And yes, the mass production was in the early 80s.
What was the book had all the prices and all that?
That was the Beckett guide.
Beckett, right?
That was the Beckett guide.
Right, but the Lemke had the real thick book.
Right.
Yeah.
The SCD standard catalog.
Yeah.
That was the Bible forever. In fact, Al from Love of the Game just put out a blog.
I saw that.
You saw that, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Where he would like someone to jump in and try and get that catalog going again.
He's trying to get Saber. All right, listen, let's get to the auction. You had a question.
I might be able to do that.
Oh, really? Huh?
What auction? Wait a minute. Oh, yeah.
What auction?
The GAX auction.
Oh, that's right. You're having an auction.
That one too.
Oh, go ahead. Let's do it. What do you want from me?
I get it. The Ruth cards.
Oh, yeah.
The Ruth cards. Talk about that first Ruth card that is being featured. That's an unbelievable one.
Tom, I wish I had the money for this one. This one belongs in the Smithsonian.
Really?
Wow.
So it's a real photo postcard of Babe Ruth. I had PSA's photo expert, Henry Yee, actually analyzed the card. It was made off of original photographic silver gelatin paper, as Henry described it. So if it wasn't a card, it would be a type 1 photo.
Really?
And we can't pinpoint the year, 15 or 16, but it's a rookie era card. Wow. SGC labeled it circa 15. And I wish I had the card in my hand, like Lee showed you guys some cards, to put it out there. But it's lot number 1. It just, you look at this card and it makes you feel young again. Ruth is
You should be looking at it.
Hey, where is
Long time. You're both long time. Him.
Ruth the picture was taken at Hot Springs, Arkansas, the Red Sox spring training facility.
Yeah.
You got the field in the background, homes in the background behind the field.
Oh, that's nice.
It's just amazing. It truly transcends time.
What do you think it'll go for? Well, approximately.
I'm going to give
should
a
it be?
range of 175 to 250.
Okay.
It could go more, but I think that's a fair estimate.
That's not bad.
What do,
Jump in, Rico.
No, looking at it, I
may put a bid in.
might put a bid in. But I want to know about the Mathewson card. This guy was one of the great pitchers of this.
Still
Which
doesn't-
one, Rico?
Christie. Either one of them.
Christy Mathewson.
Oh, you're talking about the postcards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lot 6 and 7.
Same thing. Huh?
Yeah, those are really cool. So, Lot 6 is a Pinkerton postcard. They came with a scorecard back or a blank back.
Wow.
This is the blank back, but it's one of the highest graded examples out there, and it's a famous Louis Van Ooyen photo that came out originally in, I think, 1908. That was used for the postcard. And did you guys ever hear of the Pinkerton cabinets where they put a photo on a mount, like a cabinet mount?
No.
The cabinets have the same photo. The postcards have the same photo as the cabinets. So this is a really cool card.
Interesting. All right. Guess what time it is, Reek?
I don't know.
It is time for
watch.
On Deck with Rico.
Oh, wow.
Number 6 on your roster. Number 1 in our hearts. Ron Deco, Richard Pacicelli.
Rico Paracelli. It is time for On Deck with Rico, brought to us every week by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the staff at RobertEdwardAuctions.com. Don't forget to get your bid in. He's got a great, great organization. Go to RobertEdwardAuctions.com. And today's question, Rico, was submitted by one Jerry Sexton.
Jerry Sexton.
Did you go to high school with him?
No, but he sounds familiar.
Jerry Sexton. And here was the question. The question is kind of a...
Yeah, this is a stupid question. No, I'm sorry, Jerry. I'm just joking.
The question is, Rico.
Yes.
How were you as a Little League player, and how were you as a high school player?
Well, good question.
I mean, did you dominate?
I played Little League. We didn't have Little League then. That's like, how many years ago that is?
What'd you have? Sandlot?
Sandlot ball, yeah.
I mean, just pickup games?
No, my sport was basketball, and I started playing baseball around 13 years old.
So
where did you grow up?
No Little League?
Brooklyn, New York.
Evidently not.
Did you play in Marine Park?
Of course. Hey, everybody from Brooklyn played there.
With the uphill mounds?
Yeah, I know it. I hated those. But no, I played at Sandlot ball. I played for a couple of teams, and I pitched and played the outfield.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had a good arm. High school, I batted .500. It was, I was voted the top player in New York.
Wait a second. You in baseball?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I know in basketball you were.
He never asked. But, yeah, no. So I,
so you signed?
I signed, out of high school because
tell
got money.
Tell the story about. I think it was the basketball coach. You didn't get an award in your own team.
Oh, it was a baseball.
Oh, so tell that.
I won the MVP.
Listen to this one, Joe.
Yeah.
And Mike, listen to this.
My high school coach played a little bit with the Tiger organization, not very far, and so we had a good year. We went to the state championship.
Finals,
We lost in that game. Anyway, so I won the MVP in New York.
In New York,
the whole city, right? But I didn't win it for my team. Hey, wait a minute. Time out. The guy hated me. He hated we took him all the way to almost to the state championship.
and he gave somebody else the MVP.
He gave somebody else the MVP. He says, "Well, you don't need it." I said,
"You don't need it."
I said, "This guy, he didn't like me, my own coach." But anyway,
you don't need it.
So that was that. But my sport in high school and all that was basketball. I loved basketball, and
I would have loved to go on one-on-one with you.
You crazy? Would have been
Rico, were you a shooting guard or point guard?
Shooting guard, and I also led the team in rebounds. So,
Joe, we've talked about this.
Anyway, I want to know about your.
So Rico, real quick, did you play against Joe Torre at Marine Park?
No, he was, all kidding aside, I was on the cadets after him. I saw him play. And he was very heavy. He was a catcher.
Great hitter.
Yeah, boy, he hit one to right center field over, must have been fourth something, as a young guy. But then he signed. And I signed a few years later with the cadets.
Were you torn? I mean, I know when you signed with the Red Sox, were you torn about not signing and taking the scholarships, UCLA or one of those schools?
No, I couldn't. No, I figured it out. I talked to my family and friends. Where was I going to go in basketball? I was 5'11", about 5'11", and I was good. I was a good shooter and all that. But where was I going after college?
Good point.
And I was starting to get offers for baseball. After I had graduated, I had to wait to graduation.
And then the check for 60 large came.
65, 70,000. That said, ooh, I like baseball. Baseball been very good.
All right, let's get back to the auction.
Yes.
Joe, you got a Rose rookie card. Is that card, it seems to be really picking up ahead of steam.
We got a couple of Rose rookies.
Yeah, but that card seems to really be picking up ahead of steam now.
Well, it was hotter than a firecracker.
When?
Then it cooled a couple of, 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
Then it cooled off, and Tom's right. It seems to be gaining steam again.
That's good. I'm
glad.
glad.
With that said, Tom,
he's a good friend of yours.
Will Charlie Hustle ever be put in the Hall of Fame?
What do you think? He should be. This is ridiculous now. You know why I'm thinking that.
Because of the gambling.
Because of the gambling.
I agree with that.
The gambling was any kind of gambling. They took phones, wall phones, where you put the dime. Took them out of the clubhouses, nowhere near, because they were afraid that gamblers might call, and guys might start throwing games. That was the reason. I don't think it ever happened, but in my era. But Rose, they claim, he bet on his own team. I can't believe that he would bet that they would lose, but that's not the point. But the whole point of gambling was. Forget it. You're out of the game. You know what I mean? They were so pissed. Now they're
Newest Joe Jackson.
Yeah. Now they're
good example.
1990. Yeah.
Well, hold on. That's not the same. That's not the same. Shoeless Joe, they proved, took money. Joe, he took cash.
Well, because he needed shoes. That's why.
He did.
Well, the point is that I agree, by the way, with you. I think
Jackson hit 375 in the World Series.
I know that, but I understand that. I know all that, but he admitted to taking money, Joe. That's the bottom line.
He did.
So,
and it's funny because when I
know that.
In his defense, Jackson, and his lawyer was saying, well, he hit a home run, hit 375, but Christy Mathewson, the great Matty, was watching the games with the iconic sports writer, Grantland Rice.
Oh, yeah.
And there were other things going on that nobody ever spoke about. Like Happy Phelps was the center fielder. Him and Jackson would converge on a fly ball and just stop and do an Alphonse and Gaston and watch the ball fall.
See?
Yeah.
That didn't show up in the stat line. So, Tom, there was definitely funny.
There had to be. There had to be.
Yeah. But Rose, this is, I guess I'm.
Oh, he was a friend. He's a friend of yours, too.
Yeah, but I saw him. This guy was a great hitter, great player. Hustle.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Really, honest. He wasn't a power hitter, but he could hit, man. He was like Boggs and the guy from San Diego.
Tony Gwynn.
Gwynn,
Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
I mean, just fouled tough pitches off and all. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Joe, you're going to stick with us right through the end. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
You're going down with us.
Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
Are you a collector looking for that rare trading card or autographed ball or photo? If so, then PB Collectables in Newport is the place for you. PB Collectables has graded cards, raw cards, complete sets, and wax boxes of the stars of the future, today, and from the past. We also offer a large selection of both vintage and modern cards. So whether you're looking to add to your collection or sell it, visit us at PB Collectables, 269 Spring Street in Newport, located across from St. Mary's Church. We are your neighborhood card shop and much more.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Yeah, Petroselli Marketing. I gave you a freebie number, 800-264-4294. Go to their website, as my son said, is at petrosellimkt.com. And by the way, he has clients all over the country. So if you're listening or watching and you're far away, we can get the stuff. Well, he
Great
can.
coverage.
Yeah,
They're going to do a lot.
He can.
All right, listen, Joe, we're back. We got about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's highlight for us the auction items.
Yes.
Well, we went through lot one, the Babe Ruth. An amazing turkey red set break. It's like a mid-fives grade point average. There's, I believe, 9 or 10 Hall of Famers that are the highest graded. There's a Carve and a 6.
Beautiful
Matheson in a 6, Young in a 6. Incredible cards. So that came from a special collection. And once again, Memory Lane lately cannot run an auction without a special portrait Wagner card. We have an SGC2 E90-2 American Caramel from 1910.
Good card.
The set, it was like a 10-11 card set to commemorate the Pirates championship when they defeated the Tigers in 09. It has the famous Carl Horner T206 Wagner image. And guys, just to prove how hot Wagner portrait cards are, on the 4th day, that card was sitting at 34,000 bid.
Wow. Nice.
Started at 10,000.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
Yep.
Amazing.
So those are two other of the highlights. We have lot 2 is a great Babe Ruth card. A 1920 heading home card that was used to promote his first 1920 heading home movie.
Yeah.
It's a PSA 2 with a classic Carl Horner batting image on the
Very cool.
front and the theater advertisement on the back. These are Hall of Fame collectibles.
Great. Hey,
I wanted to ask Joe a quick question.
Oh, hold on. This I got to hear.
Yeah,
Why do you say it like that?
Because you don't know a damn thing about this stuff.
That's what you think.
Okay, ask the question.
I was just reading about for investment purposes, and that's another thing that I hear you keep talking about collectibles as a hobby. I look at it from what you guys are saying as an investment.
Both. It's
just
both.
like the stock market.
It's both.
Well, he's an investment guy.
I said it's both.
All right.
What are you throwing, an attitude at me? Hey, listen, Joe, Pokemon.
Yes, Mike.
Pokemon cards.
Oh, Joe's a real expert. I want to hear this one.
Let me tell you, you got the wrong guy at the wrong time.
You can't help me?
But I can tell you this, Mike.
Yeah.
They seem to be good investments. They're going up. I wouldn't touch them with the 10-foot pole. But,
So, somewhat
we
speculative.
put them in our auction, Mike.
Hey, listen, you had a question about the contracts. We have we have 6 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Oh, well, okay.
Pretty much.
What should we do?
Pretty much. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
I wanted to ask you, I don't know if the last time you were on, I asked you about Ohtani with the $700 million. I know he's deferred, got a ton of deferred money and all that.
Smart.
No, that's actually happened after I last spoke with you, Rico.
Oh, it happened after. Okay. So,
Yes.
Well, obviously to me, his card, anything with him on it, his bats, his cards, has it gone up just because he got this kind of money? And Yamamoto too.
Another one.
He was,
325.
You know where his father was in the Second World War? Yeah, he was a captain on one of the ships.
Really? For the Japanese Navy?
Yeah.
Wow.
No kidding.
And Yamamoto was the commander-in-chief of the Japanese fleet.
That's right.
The American shot down his plane in 43 or 44.
So that's legit?
Oh, yeah.
It must have been his grandfather, not his father.
Well,
his
of course. His great-grandfather.
Oh, my God. I didn't know
There's
that.
a lot of Yamamotos, but I don't know if it's the same one.
It's like Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
Exactly.
Tom, you remember Yamamoto's the guy that after Pearl Harbor made the famous quote, "I fear all we have done is awaken a sleeping giant."
That's right.
And filled him with a terrible
top admiral.
Very good, Joe. That's a great catch.
We got to do a little.
My father was in the Korean War, so he educated me well on World War II.
When they signed out on the USS Missouri, that final peace agreement, that was unbelievable.
All right, listen, we got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes. What about, I got to ask you this question because I know you are a big Tom Seaver fan, okay? I never asked you this, but what do you think about Tom Seaver when he pitched for the Red Sox?
Boy, was that a tough one. I mean, here's a legend, my hero, my idol. And now he's pitching for a team that I don't dislike, I loathe. So, sorry, Rico.
Wow.
Hey, it's okay.
Why don't you tell us exactly how you feel?
I grew up a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
But Rico, I'll tell you this. If Tom Seaver steps on the mound, I would root for him anywhere, anytime, against any hitter. So he actually pitched some really good games that year.
But he helped the pitching staff. He was like another coach,
a mentor.
They loved.
He was a mentor to Roger Clemens.
Yeah. I mean, they loved the whole pitching staff. Don't forget it. In '86, he didn't play in the World Series.
No.
He
was on the DL. He was inactive.
Right, and but he helped that whole pitching staff because I mean I don't heard stuff from at Fenway what he did, people that were there, but he was.
All right, we got 2 minutes left. Real quickly, greatest hitter of all time. In your opinion, real quickly, who's better, Ruth or Williams?
Well, that's a
quick.
Ruth.
I'll say Williams because I saw him play.
Joe, Ruth or Williams?
Ruth has the numbers, but Williams did it in more modern era over basically 3-4 decades. I'm going with Williams.
I'm going with Williams too.
Tough right field.
And keep in mind,
I'm going. Who are you going with, Chrissy?
Tommy, his prime years.
Cliff Keen, who's the writer, passed away. He said Ruth was he saw Ruth, and of course, obviously years ago when and he said Ruth was the greatest player ever. He could do it all.
Ted Williams wore out Bob Feller.
Yeah,
98 to 100 miles per hour.
Well, wait a minute.
One of the greatest curves ever.
Bobby Dorr wore him out.
All right, we got to go.
Williams in his prime, 3 years in the service, right?
5.
Right,
5 years.
5
years. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll give you that.
All right, Joe, we love you. Memory Lane
Joe.
auction. Get on board. Bid on the cards. It ends in January. What, Joe?
January 13th, memorylane.com.
Joey, we wish you a very happy New Year.
Happy and healthy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, guys.
Right back at you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you,
Was
Mike.
it Christmas again?
Mikey?
Is it Christmas again?
No.
Well,
Thanks
he
for
said
coming
Merry
by.
Christmas.
Hey, check out the Sicilian
2
Corner.
days ago.
Go on the Sicilian Corner Facebook page. Check out Mikey. Father Mikey is still in existence. With that being said, happy collecting.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.